Going back and forth like this, I can see because everybody's spread out here. But I would like to thank all of you to help dedicate this bench to Nancy Chaney, our beloved former mayor, right here. There are a lot of, it's fun to see all the faces here, and I just wanted to point out that what I think it was last year's bench to Ghazi and Roxana right over here, and they just showed up. They just came from Atlanta, Georgia, back into wintertime. And we really appreciate you showing up for this. And you're here for the community unity walk tomorrow. So that's going to be great. And their bench dedication was just last year, so and it's right back there behind Nancy. So, well, let's see. I wanted to thank Tom Hansen for organizing this event. And his camera and his website helped to point out all the things that we need to do better in Moscow and its environs. And so it's nice to have you here recording what we're doing today.
It's definitely beneficial having Tom Lamar on the city council.
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, and I also wanted to thank the Peace Band and their organizer organizer, Fritz Nor. I think of the Peace Band as the official campaign band for every campaign that I've been part of in the last bunch of years. So it's pretty good. And there's another one coming up, so I hope.
We'll be there.
Oh, good. Thanks. So I've been asked to say a few words and introduce Nancy, but I would like you all to spend a few minutes thinking about what you're all going to say here today. So if you have something you would like to say about or for or to Nancy, please start formulating those ideas now, because I think we've got an open mic session for anybody who wants to say something. As I said, Nancy served as the mayor of Moscow. On the bench you can see from 2006 to 2014. She was on the city, or as mayor, and then she was on the city council before that for 2 years. And I was on the city council for the last, I guess, 7 years, working with her for six and a half years. And it was Nancy that was the whole reason why I got on there in the first place, when she appointed me when Bob Stout took off to go work for Hillary Clinton. And I have a lot to owe to Nancy for being appointed to that position and being able to work with her under her tutelage for so long. And I sure do miss her on the city council, as we all do, and as you can imagine. So I just wanted to say a few things about Nancy. She and her husband, Gary Bryan, own the Veterinary Ophthalmic Specialists. I always say that wrong, but I've been practicing. Which is a small business and international sales of products related to animal eyes. So if your cat needs eyes, you know where to go. She's worked for more than 2 decades as a registered nurse. That's in fact, I think, how I met Nancy first, was when I had to take my clothes off in a doctor's office, and she was there as my nurse, as my doctor's nurse. And so I've known her in all these different roles. She's worked on animal health and human health and community health and environmental health, and she's got it all rolled up into one, and that's a huge part. She holds a certificate in archaeological field school from Oregon State University, and her bachelor's degree is from Boise State University. Go Broncos, right? Can't say that too loud in Moscow. Yeah, unless you're. And of course, most recently, academically, she got her master's degree in environmental science from the University of Idaho. So it was fun to have another master's in environmental science on the city council at the same time, because there was more understanding of some of those issues at that point in time. I've watched Nancy serve as the president of the Association of Idaho Cities. I've observed her and spent time with her at the National League of Cities. She was serving on numerous committees, served on the National Board of Directors for the National League of Cities, and Moscow was represented very well in those efforts. It really helped to market to the rest of the world the importance of Moscow and our role, for example, in the Palouse Knowledge Corridor. And we don't currently have that national representation anymore, and I think that's a loss for us, and hopefully we can rebuild that over time as a community in whatever way we can. So I think that's going to have to require others of us stepping up and doing more work. I keep hoping that Nancy's going to be appointed by Michelle Obama to lead a national health institute. So we'll see. Maybe we can make some of that happen. There's some good pictures of you together, so maybe. And I've also very locally, I've worked with Nancy on the Latah Trail Foundation Board of Directors. She and I have been on that together. And you know, that again is another community building piece that we've had.
Bob, when's the fundraiser?
Which one?
For the Latah Trail.
Oh yeah, that's right. I should point that out. So I hope all of you have your tickets by now. But if you don't have your tickets by now, next Saturday, May 3rd, is the fundraiser that happens every couple of years for the Latah Trail Foundation, and that's out at the University in Best Western, and it's a really fun event. And you can either buy a table of 8, or you can buy your own ticket and join up with other people, and it's a great time, and you can buy all sorts of fun items like a kayak from NRS, or I'm sure there are all sorts of other things. You can get a trip. This year you can buy a trip or bid on a trip for the Ride Idaho, which is taking place down in Twin Falls this year. I think it's usually the first week of August. And if you're lucky, you can ride along with the new president of the University of Idaho. He's going to be riding that event as well. So that would be fun to ride along with him. Some of the things that Nancy has been known for with her work with the city and all these other different organizations are openness in government, sustainability. She hired for Moscow's grant coordinator, who has, I guess, averaged about $1 million a year in grant receipts in the last 7 years. And that's been a huge thing for the city of Moscow, leveraging all sorts of projects. For example, the bathroom over here. So there's a lot of really good things that have come about because of Nancy being mayor. She was the one that got our renewing our focus going on the city council, and sometimes I feel like we need to get our focus back a little bit, because we're not renewing that recently. We haven't been doing that, so that's been a little challenging. And you know, that leads to bringing a bunch of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or little groups of people in to talk about what they're doing in the community, and that's something that we're missing right now, I think. She's been a champion of numerous multimodal efforts in Moscow, helping to increase the importance of various forms of transportation besides just driving our cars. She's been a real champion of the poverty on the Palouse focus, and I think that's been a real important aspect to make sure that we're taking care of the people in our community that are the most vulnerable. And I think we need to realize that poverty is not just an accounting error because of looking at the students at the University of Idaho, as one city council member tried to point out or tried to claim, that there are people that really do have needs in this community. And she's also led the effort in numerous efforts that are still in practice here in Moscow today. I mean, there are many, many things that we're still doing, that are still continuing, that have absorbed and have just become part of the institution of Moscow. And we have all of those things to thank Nancy for. So thank you so much for all of your service to date. I know it's going to keep going.